We're joined by a Hall of Famer, Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon, formerly of the Houston Oilers. Everyone around here knows Warren. We appreciate you joining us, man. Hope everything is going well with you.
Everything's going great. How you guys doing?
We're good, man. We're trying to figure out what the Texans are going to do and what they're going to do potentially at quarterback. And I guess I would talk to you. We've talked the last couple of years about this kind of rebuild they're in. When you look at the quarterbacks that are there, how important is it to you that you think the Texans should try to find their franchise quarterback this year?
You know, in today's day and age, you got to have a really good one in order to be successful. But I think where DeMeco comes from in San Francisco, they've proven over the last 4 or 5, maybe 6 years that you don't really have to have a great quarterback if you play great defense and if you can run the football and if your quarterback can just be effective and not hurt you as far as making bad decisions, that you can win football games. So I don't know if he's coming from that philosophy and that's what he's thinking, and maybe he feels like he doesn't need to take a quarterback that high in the draft in order to be successful. He'd like to maybe build his defense first and go from there. And he does have a really good running game if Pierce comes back from his injury. So we'll just have to wait and see, what they do. But I don't think they're just sold on they have to have one of these quarterbacks in this draft.
Warren, is it me, or is this something you've seen, long term in the NFL? I mean, I haven't covered the league as closely as I cover it now, so I could be wrong, but it just seems to me like whether you're at the top of the draft and you have a chance to get one of the top 2, 3, or 4 quarterbacks, whatever it may be in the draft that year, or there's some kind of circumstance, Lamar Jackson this year, Deshaun Watson last year, where literally a quarterback still like a franchise face of the organization quarterback is forcing his way out and he's available, or it's a first ballot Hall of Famer like Aaron Rodgers going from one organization to the next. Is it me, or does it seem like if you're willing and you have enough bullets in the clip, so to speak, and you're willing, man, you should be able to find a quarterback you can win with sooner rather than later, one way or another.
Yeah, you would think that, but I think a lot of teams have made some bad decisions at that position. There's been some that have made some good decisions. So you just really never know how that's going to work. And I think a lot of what happens with the success of a quarterback is what he's surrounded with. If you bring in a guy that, comes into a good culture, that has really good talent around him where he doesn't have to do everything and feel like all this pressure is put on him to be able to win all the games for them, especially early in his career, you could have some success. But a lot of guys come in and they're put in those situations where they don't have a lot of talent around them, where it isn't a good culture, it's been a losing atmosphere, and all of a sudden his confidence gets destroyed because he gets maybe beat up and just worn down because of all the losing. So it's a very delicate situation for a young quarterback coming into this league, and a lot of it depends on what type of atmosphere and culture that he's coming into.
Well, unfortunately, Warren, when you rattle all that off, man, I can't help but think of the negative aspect of what's been going on in Houston. Do you think the Texans are ready to, quote unquote, support a young, whatever quarterback, doesn't be young, but ready to support a quarterback and give him the best chance to have success at that position?
I really do. I think because of how they've built their management team now, and bringing in DeMeco as the head coach, a guy who's a former Texan, also had great success in San Francisco, so he knows what that looks like. I think they're in a position now to bring in a young guy and put the other tools around him that it takes to make him successful. And I think this organization is ready to go in that right direction. I think there was so much turmoil within the front office for so many years here that it was never going to go in that direction. But I think they finally got things on the right page here from what I can understand.
Warren Moon joins us, Pro Football Hall of Famer. Well, you said you went on and you talked about the breakdown of what the Niners have been able to do over the last 4 or 5 or 6 years, and maybe they don't need a quarterback. Warren, you looked at these quarterbacks in this AFC, and this AFC is stacked. Now they've added Aaron Rodgers to it. I mean, you really think you could take that chance and try to build this thing like the Niners? I mean, yeah, it looks nice over there, but man, it feels like, boy, you got to get one of these dudes to compete with what is happening in this conference. And I don't know if I've ever seen like a conference that is stacked with quarterbacks. I just saw Colin Cowherd did a listing of the top 10 quarterbacks in the AFC. He had Deshaun ninth. Like it is wild to me what is happening in this conference with quarterbacks. And it concerns me to go that route and not going and trying to find one of these top guys. It feels like that's what you're going to need in this conference.
Yeah, it does seem that way, but I'm saying that's just another train of thought that there's a difference in that type of philosophy, that they've seen that type of philosophy work too. Even though it was in the NFC, it still works. So I'm sure that's a debate that's going on backwards and forwards within their organization, whether it's Nick or whether it's D'Amico on what they want to do draft-wise with that number one pick. So who knows? Maybe they could get their guy with further down the draft in the first round. Don't have to take it at number 2. Maybe move back, get a few more picks, and still get the guy they want. So I'm sure there's a whole lot of thinking that goes into what goes on right now, and there's a lot of posturing going on right now. There's a lot of things being said that probably aren't true to give other teams an impression of what another team might do. So this is the part of the draft where everybody's trying to posture for position.
And with that, I guess with these quarterbacks, there's about 5 of them here that a lot of people think could go in the first round with Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, and Hendon Hooker. Do you see those qualities in any of those guys? Are there guys that you look at and say, I think these are guys that can really compete with the top quarterbacks potentially?
Yeah, I think all these quarterbacks in this draft have a flaw or two. I don't think anybody's that one guy that's like maybe a Trevor Lawrence, and we even know what problems he had when he first came in his first year in the league because he didn't come into the great culture. There's not a Peyton Manning type guy in this draft or a Troy Aikman type guy in this draft or anybody like that. But I think all these guys are guys that can eventually get the job done. I would not want to put probably any of these guys on the field in their first year, but I'm sure some of them are going to be asked to do that. They're going to be asked to play early, and I don't know if they're ready to do that, especially if they don't have the right surroundings that can help support them.
All right, Warren, you guys got your third annual Brothers in Arms Celebrity Golf Tournament tomorrow, man. Before we get to that specifically, just catch us up on how Brothers in Arms is rocking and rolling right now. We see you guys all over social media, all the different events. We know things are trending in the right direction, moving in the right direction, growing for you guys. But catch us up, man. What's going on?
Yeah, well, I mean, for people out there that don't know about the foundation, it's a foundation Vince Young, Andre Ware, and myself started about 3 years ago, and we've had 3 graduating classes now of high school students that we've given scholarships to go to college. We look for kids that come from single mom homes, which the 3 of us all came from. We look for kids that are involved in sports and also have the academic achievements behind them, but just need the financial assistance. So that's what we raise money for, and that's what our golf tournament is going to be benefiting for tomorrow. And it should be a great day out there. Hopefully the rain holds off, but we're going to have a lot of our kids out there that are on scholarship, the ones that are out of school or live close by that can come out to the tournament, because we try and keep up with them as well. Once they get into college, we want to let them know that we're still we still care about them, that we're concerned about them, and if they need anything while they're away, we're still going to always be around here for them. So that's what our tournament is about, and we're really pleased with the success of our foundation so far, and we have some great sponsors that are behind us, and a lot of good backing from people in this community. So it's been a great thing so far, and we look forward to a very successful tournament tomorrow.
All right, Warren, thank you so much for joining us. Real quick before we get you out, I'm curious, what's your thoughts about the Tennessee Titans potentially wearing those old Houston Oilers jerseys?
I talked with Amy Adams about that last year.
And you told her to stop?
we were all really excited of the fact that, they changed that helmet rule where you could wear more than one helmet style. So that's what she's been waiting on in order to wear the whole helmet. I mean, the whole uniform, not just, the pants and the jersey, but also be able to wear the helmet as well. And they're going to put those out in the field, I think, at some point this season, maybe against the Texans. So you never know.
Oh boy, that'll be fun for us to deal with if they wear them jerseys out there.
I'm having no comment on that.
All right, that's Warren Moon.
I know that's a touchy subject around here.
Oh, real touchy. All right, man. We appreciate you joining us.
All right, thanks for having me on, guys. Enjoy the draft.
All right, that's Pro Football Hall of Famer Warren Moon. He talked to Amy. As I said, he probably should have told her to stop. Yeah, that's going to be touchy.
I'm surprised, not Warren Moon specifically, but I'm surprised that more players don't kind of buck that whole deal.
Like say, no, man, I'm not that, like, don't do it.
Well, not necessarily don't do it, but like
be openly against it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I expect them to do, but I am surprised that more don't have an opinion about it. Yeah, it would, like, at least it would be really nice. Look, it'd be really nice if the Texans could do that. If that's part of Houston, that oil derrick, that the history was that's Houston history. That's not necessarily Titans history.
But when you hear him, it feels like he has a relationship with them. So he doesn't sense that. I don't even think he sees it as if like Houston. I talked to Amy. I think
that's probably fair with a lot of the guys that go back and partake in those in the different events. I guess it's one of those of like, what does Warren Moon have to gain by being pissed off about those uniforms not being worn in Houston, I guess. But
they better do it at home.
It's interesting that more don't at least have kind of an opinion. It's more just kind of ho-hum.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, especially – I bet you there's some who's got some. What's our man, Dan Pastorini? I bet you he has some thoughts.
Shoot. Hey, I don't know what's going on, but let him – let him put Dan at midfield in a Titans-Texans game and celebrating them old lovely blue years. He'll be up in that suite with, what was her name?
Amy Adams.
Hey, he'll be up in that suite with Amy. Come on, man. You crazy? I love Pastorini, but I ain't no.
You don't think he's not the player you think he'll put his foot
if I had to guess, I believe that he is going to be in the middle of that party.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's Chris.
Which, again, I don't blame him. I don't know what I would expect these guys to do, but it is, I don't know, it's just always been interesting that there's not more of a voice from them of like, yeah, man, that should be something that's in Houston. Hell, maybe they don't feel that way. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they don't.